Well, Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister asked an interesting question. Who cares? Who cares, he asked. Well, he's not there, so he doesn't care, Mr. Speaker.
In a bruising, hour-long question period on Wednesday, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre delivered a relentless surgical attack on the Liberal government's handling of the cost of living crisis, pivoting from soaring grocery bills to billions in corporate welfare that allegedly shipped Canadian jobs south of the border. With the Prime Minister eventually forced to flee the chamber during the onslaught, the opposition painted a clear picture of a government that had doubled the cost of survival for the average family while simultaneously handing out taxpayer-funded subsidies to foreign billionaires. The opening salvo was aimed squarely at the kitchen table, highlighting a new report that confirms what every family knows: the grocery bill is now financially crushing. Poilievre accused the Liberals of willfully ignoring the pain their inflationary deficits and punitive taxes have inflicted on working people. The government's claim of a strongest G7 economy was instantly undermined by the hard numbers, the true cost of eating.
According to a report on food prices in Canada, when this Liberal government took power, it cost $8,300 per year for an average family to purchase groceries. Now it costs $16,800. Grocery prices doubled due to the inflation-driving taxes and deficits that have driven up the price of everything. The Prime Minister promised that he could be judged by grocery prices.
The Conservative leader then masterfully shifted the narrative from inflationary policies to what he labeled as scandalous corporate bailouts, hammering the Liberals for cutting workers loose while showering corporate executives with hundreds of millions in taxpayer funds. First up was the Algoma steel debacle, where the government gave a staggering $400 million loan, money the leader of the opposition argues was paid to executives without a single guarantee to protect Canadian employment, all while knowing layoffs were imminent. Trudeau's corporate welfare program meant a pink slip for 1,000 steelworkers in Sault Ste. Marie just weeks before Christmas. While the Liberals claimed to have saved 2/3 of the jobs, the opposition countered with the stark reality of the 1/3 who are now on the unemployment line after $400 million of public money was spent.
Prime Minister doubling Justin Trudeau's deficit, which will drive up groceries even more. And what's he spending the money on? On corporate bailouts for companies that ship jobs out of Canada. The Prime Minister promised he would negotiate a win and have a deal by July 21st. Still no win, still no deal, still no elbows. And now 1,000 workers at Algoma Steel are losing their jobs. We now learn that the Prime Minister gave $400 million to the corporate executives of that company without any job guarantees. How is it the Prime Minister could have been so incompetent to saddle Canadians who can't afford to pay their bills with a $400 million bailout bill without any guarantee of jobs staying in Canada?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, these are difficult times in Sault Ste. Marie, and our hearts go to the families. But as I quote the CEO of Algoma Steel, that there would be an even darker day if this government hadn't acted. Exactly. That loan, that support, saved 2/3 of those jobs. That loan, that support gives Algoma a bridge to the future that we are building strong in this country and that they voted against.
Hear, hear.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
As long as the CEO is happy with the $400 million gift he got from the Prime Minister, that's all that matters to these Liberals.
The Algoma failure was merely the warm-up act. Poilievre unleashed his main attack on the government's $15 billion sweetheart subsidy to multinational auto giant Stellantis. He laid out the arithmetic that shocked Canadians. The $15 billion handout translates to roughly $1,000 taken from every tax-paying family in Canada, supposedly to create jobs. Instead, the company turned around and began shipping those jobs across the border.
Love to give corporate bailouts and handouts to companies that ship jobs out of our country. Now we learn the Liberal government has pledged $15 billion, or $1,000 for every tax-paying family in Canada, people who can't afford food, to Stellantis. And Mr. Speaker, investment is fleeing this country almost as fast as the Prime Minister is running out the back door of Parliament right now. Why won't he?
The honourable member knows that that's offside. The honourable member knows. To go to the next question, which is also that of the Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister gets angry and runs out the door rather than answering the questions about the cost.
He didn't say he wasn't here.
$15 billion out the door, $1,000 for every tax-paying family to a company that is shipping jobs out of the country. Why is he sending our dollars away, our jobs away, while he runs away?
The accusation wasn't just about bad policy, it was about betrayal of the Canadian worker. The Prime Minister, according to the opposition, ran away from answering for a deal that crushed thousands of jobs and was signed by a finance minister who, as was revealed in committee, didn't even read the contract.
The Prime Minister cannot stand up for workers if he cannot even stand up and answer my questions, Mr. Speaker. And that finance minister is not stood up for workers either. He signed a $15 billion sweetheart subsidy deal with Stellantis. And now, that same company, taking our tax dollars, the equivalent of $1,000 for every family in Canada, is shipping the jobs to the United States of America. The current industry minister says she has not even read the $15 billion contract. Has the Prime Minister even read the contract, or did he simply look at the $15 billion deal and say, who cares?
The corporate cover-up surrounding the Stellantis deal was the subject of the next blow, as a Conservative member of Parliament accused Liberal officials of lying to committee about why the massive contract was redacted. Officials claimed Stellantis had requested every blacked-out line, but the company itself publicly stated they asked for no such secrecy, leading the opposition to demand answers on who was truly behind the veil of concealment.
After being ordered to hand over their multi-billion-dollar subsidy deal with Stellantis unredacted, the Liberals refused, with senior officials blaming the company, stating, and I quote, Stellantis outlined every redaction they felt to be necessary, and that they were, quote, comfortable with the redactions they proposed. Problem is, Stellantis has now gone public, saying they never asked for the documents to be blacked out. Will the minister tell us why her officials lied to committee and Canadians?
That's a good question.
Moving from lost paychecks to lost dreams, the Conservative bench pivoted to the housing crisis, citing the damning Parliamentary Budget Officer's report. After a decade of Liberal control, the cost of housing has doubled, and their much-hyped housing plan will deliver only 5,200 units a year, a stunning 99% less than what was promised. A Conservative member from the GTA drove the point home, noting that the crisis has hit home starts, which are down by 43% in his region. The message to young Canadians was clear. The Prime Minister demands you sacrifice the Canadian dream of home ownership to fund his agenda.
If bureaucracies built homes after 10 years, we'd all be living in a penthouse like the minister. What he fails to understand is that behind the numbers, behind the crisis, are real Canadians of the next generation shut out of the Canadian dream to earn, save, and own a home. In the GTA, housing starts are down 43% and sales are down 65%. So when the Prime Minister told young Canadians that they need to sacrifice more, why didn't he have the courage to tell them what he really meant was sacrifice the Canadian dream?
Honourable Minister.
The Prime Minister's cavalier indifference was then highlighted. At one point, when faced with the escalating crisis and the $15 billion corporate giveaway, Poilievre's question was left hanging as the Prime Minister retreated from the chamber. The opposition leader seized the moment, asking a question that will undoubtedly be the centerpiece of attack ads for weeks to come.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister asked an interesting question. Who cares? Who cares, he asked. Well, he's not there, so he doesn't care, Mr. Speaker.
He asked Who cares? He's not there, so he doesn't care, Mr. Speaker. The day's proceedings have given the Conservative Party all the ammunition they need. Groceries are doubled, corporate bailouts are the norm, contracts are secret, and the Prime Minister is literally running away from the consequences. Poilievre's relentless focus on the cost of living and the jobs crisis has cemented his party's position as the only credible alternative, ready to stand up for the working families Trudeau has left behind.